welcome back to Mortals and Portals. I'm your host,
Portals.
Yeah, I already said it, Taryn. I'm your host,
I didn't know that
Zach.
was gonna happen.
Go ahead, Zach.
Taryn is normally really good at being patient and waiting his turn, but not this time.
This
Not
is
today.
painful. Let's get it together, boys.
Should we quit the podcast? Should we just quit it?
Ryan, you're up, baby.
Oh, I'm
Chaos.
also Taryn.
We can't.
This is getting.
We can't.
Joel, your turn.
All right, I'm Joel.
All right. What's up, Taryn?
All right, go ahead, Adam. You're the next. Oh, wait, did Adam do it yet?
I haven't, but it doesn't matter at this point.
Go ahead. I was saying it's your turn to host, Adam.
I think it does matter. I think
Maybe
it
like
does.
60 episodes in, and this is probably one of our
I think it
worst
does too,
intros.
Zach.
I don't know about
I'm
that.
your host
Ryan.
and GM, Zach, and this is Mortals and Portals, a real-time playtime Pathfinder 2E podcast.
Real-time playtime.
We should try doing an intro at the end sometime.
And joining me at the table is...
Adam and I play Jules, an Azarketi bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a kobold rogue.
Wow. Okay.
I'm Ryan. I'm Tuff, and I'm a
Taryn's
automaton inventor.
way more influential than I thought.
Go ahead, Zach.
What do I say? You took my part.
Go ahead.
And
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead,
Waltz,
Zach.
a
Come on.
human champion.
Great. All right. Pretty clean take that time. All right. So as you guys know, last time on Mortals and Portals, we played the game, and
Taryn, do you know what happened last
there's-
time on Mortals and Portals? You can do your best right now.
this is where I'm slowing down a little bit. Zach, I'll let you.
You want me to take the reins?
I'll let you just recap from here.
Popcorn,
Just
Zach.
yeah, just take off the. I got the first 99.
Wait, no, Taryn, if you're in the pilot seat, this is an opportunity to change what's happened.
Yeah, give me more health.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Tuff got a shit ton of health. There
Thanks.
was
Thanks,
a
Taryn.
health potion that came out of the sky and went down his throat as he was fighting on top
remember
of
that.
Smith.
In the vial?
The
They went down his
Myrkvane-
throat?
Zach, don't interrupt me. The Myrkvane
Zach,
killed
come on.
Zach. The Myrkvane
Zach,
killed
stop.
GM Zach Ernesti, and he's
You
not
shut
here
up.
anymore.
Shut
but
up.
Waltz and Dax killed him, and Jules returned the Flora Devida, and that's where we ended our session.
Wow, we won. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to follow that up. None of that was right. But I like where your head's at. Yeah. What is that called?
Foreshadowing.
Wishful
No,
thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. Or it's like
Manifesting?
dream it, achieve it, or manifesting. There you
Manifesting.
go. But no, what actually happened was I think Raul had taken the Flora Devida because Taryn mentioned returning it, but you guys don't even have it. So that's a little bit
I meant
different.
returning it to Raul.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was his. Yeah, Raul had it, and he's flying off to the side with his jetpack, and Jules didn't really know what to do and just kind of desperately shot at the roof of the cavern and made some rocks fall down on him. And Raul did his best to dodge it, but one managed to hit his jetpack, revealing to Jules that his jetpack is not indestructible. Imagine that. You know, it can be damaged. So
Interesting.
Jules detected a potential opening because otherwise he can't really reach Raul. He could throw his trident a bunch though. Well, we'll see what he does. That's the situation he's in. And Waltz and Tuff were trying to fight this Myrkvane. Turns out this Myrkvane's pretty strong. Surprise, surprise. Waltz decided to jump off Smith, like just the total Chad that Waltz is. He's like, I'm going to get off of Smith right now, and I'm going to try and overtake this anti-air gun. So he started fighting some Kitsune. I think you killed the guy immediately. You're pretty into that now.
Happens.
Just
Yeah, I
electrocuting.
guess Waltz kills people now.
Yeah, he does. I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And you're battling another one, trying to get control of this anti-air gun. Meanwhile, Tuff is flying around on Smith, doing his best to stay alive, but the Myrkvane was landing blows. I think you all got shot by its electric breath weapon as well, and that did quite a bit of damage. And Tuff, I guess, wasn't doing so well.
And I didn't get shot by it, but
Yeah, well, you don't even have the Flora Devida, bro, so why are you acting so
shut
tough
up,
right
Zach.
now?
I knew you were going to bring that up.
You had
All
one job,
high and mighty
Jules.
in your little jetpack.
Yeah, the best part is if you destroy the one he has like 3 more. So it's not really actually a...
Just pulls it out of his pocket.
Yeah, it's an auto respawn.
Blink.
Yeah, and then so Tuff flew Smith into a building to regroup and try and hide from this Myrkvane, try and figure out what he's going to do next. And you even had a conversation with Smith and basically said, like, look, man, I got to die here, but you don't have to, so get out of here. And Smith was like, are you freaking kidding me, bro? Like, All that
Yeah.
we've been through together, and you think I'm just gonna leave? No.
That's a Chad move.
And he did that thing.
Yeah.
He did that thing where he snorts and he stomps. You know how he snorts sometimes. Taryn knows. He puts
I
in
love
all
when
the
he snorts
The
and
Smith
stomps.
snort, we call
Yeah,
it.
Taryn hears
I
Smith
like it a
snorts
lot
in his
more than when
sleep.
Taryn snorts and
Yeah.
stomps.
Well, those actually,
Let me
that
just
sound
tell you
effects
that
is
much.
Taryn snorting here because there wasn't one on the
It's
sound
on my
library.
Yeah, but I
white
like
noise
it when it's
machine.
used. I like it when it's used for Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's kind of where Tuff is at. And then also Dax was a Chad. Lots of Chads. Do people still say Chad, or is this lame that I'm calling you guys Chads? But Dax was a Chad and said, you know what, I'm going to throw this grenade I have at this archway in the building I'm in and destroy it so no one from the other side of the building can get to me. Because remember, he's trying to stop a bunch of Kitsune and some undead from setting charges to blow up 2 pillars that would supposedly cause the castle to collapse on Caverna de Luz and bury jewels in the cavern itself, so the Flora Devida could not possibly be returned to its soils. So, stakes much, am I right? And apparently, they made it sound like both pillars need to be exploded to do that. So Dax said, "All right, I'm going to say screw it on the other side of the room and just make sure they can't get over here to stop me from disrupting this side." He battled a bunch of guys. He did some cool stuff. You got rid of a lot of grenades. You threw some grenades, and then ultimately, they did explode the other side of the room, which caused that half of the castle to crumble inward and start falling into the cavern, and a bunch of Kitsune slipped off and into this abyss, and Jules and Raul are observing this rubble falling with a bunch of Kitsune tumbling towards them, and that is where we ended our session. So that is where we'll start our session. Jules,
Oh
you-
yeah, I love it when it's my turn.
woo! Can you please just roll me a reflex save?
For you, GM Zach or Nesty,
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Okay.
And that reflex save, are you listening?
Yes.
Joel, Ryan, Taryn, are you guys listening too?
Yeah.
I am now.
Is a 24.
Nice.
Is it
What?
really?
Ryan, you weren't listening.
Jules, Danger Diego is sitting on your shoulder and he says, "What have you done?"
Yes.
Because you just shot
I
the
didn't realize he
magic
was on the
missile into the roof of the cavern, and the next thing that happened basically was it slowly crumbled and then half of it started to cave in.
I suppose that was bad timing, wasn't
So
it?
Danger Diego thinks that was you. "Where was that power all along? You could have killed him earlier, you fool!" And he lightly slaps you on the cheek. You barely feel it. You're probably not even paying attention as you stare up as all of this is crumbling. You see Kitsune screaming as they're falling down. They're hitting the land bridge, bouncing off the walls of the cavern. You see undead tumbling in as well. And Raul looks up. "What is this?" And he charges his jetpack and tries to burst to the side, but just then one of the rocks clips him in the shoulder and bounces off his jetpack, and you see some energy escape out of the side as he corkscrews for a moment and regains flight. And then a very large rock comes down, Jules, and smashes into the center of the land bridge you're in, and you dive out of the way as it blasts a big hole in it, making a 10-foot gap in the center of this land bridge as it just falls through and crumbles through each land bridge beneath it and then just smashes in the ground and explodes. And as you roll there and then stand up to your feet, you see more of them coming at you, and you can't jump the way you just came, and you have no choice but to cover your head and dive as some of them catch you on the shoulders, and you're going to take half damage, which is 11 damage from this.
Holy smokes.
Ouchie.
And Raul, who is weaving through these as they're starting to fall in less dense waves at this point, as much of it is caved in, it's just one half of the roof. He looks around and looks at you, and you see him thinking as he clenches on to the Flora Devida and then looks up towards the cavern, and he says, "I am afraid you have lost Judas." And he just looks up and then fires his jetpack and starts to fly upwards through this new opening in the roof, and is just leaving you behind as he darts upwards, and that'll take us to
Uh-oh.
you, Jules.
How far is he? Like, is he still in sight?
He is now 60 feet in the air above you
60.
Okay.
as you see his jetpack sparking with fumes shooting out the side, and the energy it emits looks a little less consistent as it flickers and flares as he shoots upwards.
Okay. I think I got to whip out that old magic missile again.
Oh boy.
Dang, how many spells you got, bro?
Do you really want to know? Do you
Are
want me
you
to
sure
tell
you can still cast spells? I'm honestly like impressed.
Do you want me to tell you, or is that meta?
Zach just thinks you're a liar.
I don't care. I got 1 level 1, 1 level 2, and 2 level 3
Nice.
Dang.
Left
That's
or
even more
total?
than I would have thought. Yeah.
left.
Nice.
Wow.
Left?
Doesn't that seem
Whoa.
like a lot?
That does. Good thing you leveled yourself up then, huh?
Zach, you know me. I wouldn't cheat.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose, at least, yeah.
Do what you do, bro.
Okay. I'm going to... I think I'm just going to use my last level 2, maybe
Okay.
level 1. I'm going to do level 1.
All right.
F him up, Adam.
This is a boss battle, dog.
This
Kill him.
jetpack.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, I know.
boss battle.
Well, I'm trying to think.
this is
how
like
much
saving your
health-
potions for the end of Elden Ring.
How much health does a jetpack have, though? You know? So you think I should YOLO level 2?
YOLO.
All right, I'm doing. Guys, I'm gonna do it.
Do it,
I'm just gonna
Adam.
do it. Level
Adam's
2,
gonna YOLO.
magic
Do it.
missile
Be bad.
coming.
Be bad,
His
Adam.
way.
Do it.
I am gonna shoot. What the heck? I'm gonna shoot all 3 at him. At his jetpack.
Okay.
Right
no,
at
he
that
didn't.
You're
pack of
YOLOing, Adam.
poo, 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 poo. Okay, what do I do? I've never shot at a jetpack before, Zach.
Well, they're just auto hit, so you just roll the damage, right?
Yeah, you're right. I couldn't remember if there was like some sort of save to like.
I just love
You'd
that he's
think I'd
been
know by
using
now.
magic missile since episode 2.
I'm just
He's like, "How does it work?"
nervous and excited. I'm just so nervous. Remember,
We've- hold
guys,
on.
at
Sorry,
level
we've been
2,
using magic missile wrong since episode 2. So
yeah, but just remember, heightened level 2.
Yep.
Mhm.
I shoot an additional missile with each action I spend.
How many
I'm shooting
missiles?
6
Adam!
missiles, Ryan. 6 of them.
Yeah.
That's almost as much as I can count.
I thought
with
you were
one hand.
YOLOing before.
But now I really know that you're YOLOing.
Yeah, me too, Taryn.
dig it.
I really want to make sure he falls to his death.
Okay.
But obviously, I want the Flora Devida to conveniently land in my hands.
I'll see what I can do.
I'll see
I'll
what
talk
I
to the
can
boss.
do.
check my
That's a
notes.
nice gesture, at least, Zach. Thanks.
Guys, are you ready?
Yep.
6 d4s, 19 damage.
Nice.
Oh, holy cow. Okay, that's pretty
That
damn good.
jetpack is YOLO'd.
I got like 3 4s and 2 3s in there.
Raul is looking skyward, not even concerned with you anymore, as he's dodging falling rocks, falling kitsune. He sees escape on the horizon. He has the Flora Devida. He wants to rendezvous with his army. And Jules, you hold up your hand in the gun shape. You feel confident in what you're able to do with it before. You know you have one final shot, and you now know what your target is, and aim carefully at his jetpack and fire off, 6 aqua darts in rapid succession. And
You got it.
throughout all the chaos, it takes a while for Raul to hear these incoming missiles at the last second as he looks over his shoulder just in time to see you aimed at him with missiles flying directly at his jetpack. Tries to turn away, but at the last possible second, they impact his jetpack and just erupt in this aqua explosion as you see sun-shard energy just emit from his jetpack and shrapnel flying in all directions as he's thrown in midair in this violent spinning twist as he yells out. And as this eruption clears, you see Raul now dangling from his grappling gun, which he fired up into the opening.
of course he is a stinking
And he's
crap.
very bloodied and looks very distraught as he's just swinging side to side and maybe hitting the wall of the cavern. Curse you, Azarketti. And he's very bloodied and he looks up to the opening and then just starts to grab on to the rope he shot out and slowly climb towards this opening. Do you have any remaining actions or anything you want to do?
Oh boy.
I have one more, I believe,
Okay.
Did you get 4?
because of my special goop that I gooped on my gooper,
Nice way to
my
goop.
trident.
Mm-hmm.
So I used
You're
3
a goopy
actions,
gooper.
but I get an extra attack action, so it's more like I used 2. So I'd like to use my last action to maybe do a perception check to see if I can figure out a route to get closer to him, climb up. The bridge just got busted that I'm on, so I don't really know
Sure.
what the sitch is.
Yeah. Roll a perception check.
I might want to use a hero point for that.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 21.
All right, you're looking around the cavern frantically, feeling like he's about to get away. You shot your shot literally. You don't quite know what to do, and you're looking around with all this chaos, rocks falling around you, just very loud. And you do see that waterfall ahead if you wanted to try and like jump to it and use Diego to swim upward and maybe pursue him that way. But otherwise, you feel like he's just able to get away from you. You really don't have a way that you can fly, that you can reach him. You could maybe try and climb the cavern walls. They're wet and slippery, but perhaps your only shot is to just try and attack him with range continually or hope he doesn't get away or falls on his own. But yeah, you maybe are feeling a little bit desperate right now.
Yeah. How far away is the waterfall from me?
It is a 25-foot long jump.
Okay.
So I'll let you ponder that.
Well, that'll be the end of my turn. Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to cut to Dax, who is kind of in this same encounter a little bit, if you think about it.
Ooh. Yep. Thought.
You know what? I will go ahead and think about it.
Yeah, you're giving us lots of time too. All right, I'm done thinking.
All right, Dax. So you've seen this floor cave in on the other side. You know there's a big abyss, and you know that Caverna de Luz is supposedly beneath it, but you currently aren't near this edge to look down it or see what's in there.
This is true.
But you are right next to that undead knoll still. And then you also have the one rifleman up on the catwalk on your side of this room. So what do you do with your turn, my man?
All right. I'm trying to remember. I think I pulled out my sword, but I also can't remember if I was like, wait, never mind, I did something else. I think it's still out.
Yeah, I think it is too. I think you've been using... no, you dropped it to start throwing all the grenades, remember?
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Because I said
did
if you
do
had
that.
two hands, you could do two per action.
All right. I am going to use my first action. Sorry, let me
It's okay.
show, don't tell.
It's okay, Joel. You got this.
With all the chaos around, Dax is going to kind of look side to side, get a lay of the land, and look down, pick up his sword with his first action, pull out a dagger with his other hand, and then move 25 feet towards that gunman.
So you're going up the catwalk now? Like up those stairs?
Up the stairs to the gunman, yes, because I can't fight this undead next to the pillar because I can't risk it exploding. So I'm going to try and draw it away from there.
Dax, maybe in one cool motion as the undead knoll is swiping at you, you like roll on the ground, pick up your sword, start running, and then mid-run, just pull a dagger out as you're running up the stairs, and the rifleman's like, oh, no, he's coming towards me. And that will take us to the undead knoll that lets out a growl and then just starts trudging after you, sprinting up behind you, and he's going to try and grapple you with his first action, or second, because he ran up to you. Oh, great. Nat 20, bro.
Oh,
He grabs on to like your hood that maybe fell down when you started sprinting, and you just feel it yank you all the way back. And then he just sticks his arm underneath your chin and is choking at your throat. And then he is just going to punch really hard into your ribs and roll an attack against you, which you'll be off guard against. Does a 24 hit you?
Yes. Although I will say I cannot be off guard because I have a feat called Deny Advantage. So if a creature is my level or lower, I cannot be off guard to it.
nice.
Oh, okay, so does a 22 hit you?
No, it does not.
Oh,
Suck
wow.
it, Zach! Oh,
Okay, that's
let's
pretty
go. Get Pathfindered.
So as the fist comes in from the side and it's about to just crush your ribs, you put your arms up and grab onto their forearm that's wrapped around you and just bite into his arm and just dig into it and tear away some flesh. As it rips its arm away for a second, and you're able to quickly duck out of its grasp right as the punch is coming. But as you start to run away again, it reaches out and grabs onto your hood because he never technically lost his grapple on you. And you get yanked back again, but you do dodge this attack. And the rifleman, who maybe wipes his brow, raises up the rifle, and he's going to try and shoot at you and say, sorry, but you're already dead. Talking about the undead that has a grip on you that he may accidentally shoot with this shot. which he absolutely misses because I rolled a 2.
Yes.
And he goes to fire, and the undead, out of self-preservation, actually yanks you both to the side and dodges the shot and lets out a roar at the kitsune that shot at him. What? He's going to kill me! And then he'll shoot again. I rolled 2 2s in a row, and that's like a crit fail for sure. So yeah, he just
Heck yeah.
completely misses. He is very rattled as he sees you determined, and now feels like the undead is also upset at him. And that'll take us back to Raul, who is simply climbing. He's just grabbing onto this rope as he's all bloodied and just using his strength to pull himself up, getting even further away from you, Jules, as he occasionally looks back at you, trying to figure out what you're going to do, getting further away, maybe starts chuckling to himself. And that'll take us to you, Jules.
Okay, help me understand. I think last time he was 60 feet away from me.
Yep, and then now he just climbed. 1 second.
Is that like directly above me, or is it?
Yeah, he's still just going upwards.
Well, but I guess like I'm imagining this cavern somewhat sizable.
Yeah, it's 50 feet across, and you're in the center of it, and he's hanging in the center of it, essentially, like more or less, and then just climbing straight up.
Oh.
Because it got destroyed in the middle, and he shot his grapple on the lip of like where the opening occurs, so he is also hanging in the middle.
Okay, so how far is he now?
So since he only had 2 actions, and one was a critical success, he climbed 15 additional feet, so he's now 75 feet above you.
Okay, so Jules is going to take his ocarina out. He just feels a whisper. He feels just something inside of him. Maybe it's Edard speaking to him, but he takes his ocarina out and he plays this tune that he's never played before. And at his feet, water starts kind of swirling around and shoots up, and he creates a pillar of water, which is what I'm casting. That's what it's called.
Okay.
It's a new level 3 spell that I haven't used yet. So I create a large self-contained cylinder of still, clear, fresh water. I get to choose the radius and height. That can be a maximum radius of 15 and maximum height of 60, which last turn, Raul was 60 feet from me. So he creates this pillar, shoots up, and I would like to attempt to swim straight up with my aquaticness, with maybe extra help from my new friend Diego.
Yeah. Dude, heck yeah.
And I want to attempt to grab onto whatever he was holding onto, if it's the rope or the cable or whatever, grab onto that. So This is a 3 action. Oh, but you know what?
What?
That's a 3 action thing.
Oh, well then I guess technically on your next turn you would swim then. So you create the pillar, and then on your next turn you could swim and grab the rope. It's not like it's 3 actions to make it, and then on your next turn you could swim. So
that makes sense. Yeah. That's movement. So yeah, you're right.
Jules, you start to focus, and this water starts to form around you and just swirl and create this cyclone that you're in the center of. But then this cyclone suddenly fills with water, and you're just submerged. And Diego goes, "Oh, how are you doing this? What? Oh, wait a minute." And then he converts into a fish and starts to swim around the pillar, and you maybe kick off the ground as well and start to float and swim as you see this pillar, this tunnel, focused upwards, directly centered on the dangling rope that Raul has left behind. But that is 3 actions, so is there anything you want to do with your 4th action?
Well, my 4th action would have to be attack, and I don't know if in my current predicament
all right,
I have something. So I will just say, get ready, Diego. We're going up.
Oh, I like this pen. Okay, this is like the perfect example of like, I create this scenario, and as I explain it to Jules, it sounds like there's literally nothing Jules can do to catch this guy. And then I just wait and see what you guys do, and you come up with something so freaking cool like that. Like, this is what I love about
bad.
You did it, Adam.
Anus.
you.
I
cracked
figured
the
it out,
code.
guys. I won Pathfinder. This is
He wins.
pillar of water. That's all you need.
And that'll take us to Dax, who is grappled by this undead gnoll and being shot at by a rifleman. What do you do?
Based on my previous experience, and if you need me to make a roll, fine. But if based on my previous experience, would the undead dying at this distance, at 25 feet away from this pillar, like how big do they explode? I guess is my question in short.
I wouldn't even make you roll for that. In your experience, the ones that had exploded weren't massive explosions. It was more just people in their direct vicinity, maybe within 5 to 15 feet at most, but not enough to reach that pillar.
Okay. All right. Well, then what Dax is going to do is, as he is getting grappled, from his core, you'd see him start to light up a little bit orange. And I will cast the ignition spell, melee style, and just try to burn the heck out of this dude as he's grappling onto me.
Do it, Joel. Do it,
I like
Dax.
it. Does he roll a save or do you roll an attack?
It's a spell attack.
Okay.
Not great. 21.
That hits.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Okay. So because it's melee, I get better dice here. It's okay, so it's 4d6. That'll be 14 fire damage.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
That's nice.
Let's go, Big Joel.
So Dax, to cast this, you need one free hand. So do you just want to like drop one of your weapons?
Yeah, I'll drop my dagger. Easy.
Okay. Dax, you whip around, drop your dagger, and in the same motion, just place that hand on the chest of this undead, and your hand just starts to glow and then ignites in flame that overtake this undead as it starts to flail around as its fur gets burnt, and it lets out a loud roar as you see the fire overtake its face. And then this even maybe would intimidate you as it looks at you with a burning face and gritted teeth, still alive as you see some of its flesh just burning and falling to the ground. Do you have any actions remaining?
Yucky. Dropping, is that a free action? Or is that
It's a free action.
Oh, shoot. Heck yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and try to stab this sword into his neck or something as I'm sitting there wriggling in his arms.
Holy moly.
That is so 27 with a -4 multi-attack penalty because it's
Agile weapon.
agile. So 23.
Roll me damage, bro.
Let's go.
11 piercing.
Dax, you're still very close to this undead. It's covered in flames. You're maybe even regretting catching him on fire as you're so interlocked with him, and the flames are just dancing around you as well. And you vigorously just push off with one hand and gain just a little bit of distance, and then raise your sword above your head and then just do a high stab up into its chest as it's taller than you and connect in the center of its rib cage. Dig it deep into its chest as you see it stop roaring and its eyes roll back, and you pull the sword out as it wanes in place and it starts to glow within, growing brighter and brighter. And can you roll me a reflex save?
I was hoping I'd have time to run away.
No, it's just an instant thing.
Oh no. You said reflex save?
Mm-hmm.
18.
Ooh.
18's not bad.
Pretty good,
It's
actually.
a 4 on dice.
Oh.
Dax, you were still in its grasp when you did this, and even though it's essentially died in this moment, its grip was very tight on your shoulder, almost like a reflex to its own death, and its claws just dig into your shoulder and you're having trouble getting away, and you see it glowing and you just swipe your arm down to knock its grip free, but as you do it, you stumble backwards because you're frantically trying to get away and then fall on your back as it just explodes in front of you, and you weren't able to protect yourself or dodge really in any way, and you're going to take 10 damage as this necrotic goop just flies and all this energy overtakes you in this loud, powerful explosion. And that takes us to the rifleman, who doesn't really know where to go. Half the building is destroyed. Not even sure if he can get out of the castle. He's not going to jump out the window. He's got his back against the wall, and he's just kind of panic firing at you, Dax, while he sees you preoccupied. You're maybe not even concerned with him at this point. Maybe even forgot he's there, but he's just shooting at you. This doesn't make any sense. I just rolled a third 2 with the same enemy, like a third 2 in a row.
That's wild.
Perfect.
That is
It's
wild.
working.
Does he have a hero point?
He's
Yeah, he
consistent.
does actually. He's being very brave. He has literally no option in what he's doing. All right, well, here comes his second attack. Ooh, and with multi-attack penalty, that's still not going to be enough. Well, maybe. Does a 21 hit you?
No, sir.
Darn it. It's almost like he can't even see you in this explosion. He's just shooting into the energy ball that he sees. Die! And he's just firing rapidly, kind of panicking, but is missing you. I don't think this guy's hit you once. All right, and that'll take us back to Raul, who looks over his shoulder, sees this pillar of water rising towards him, and he is going to continue to climb. And by the end of this climb, he starts to feel the magic you cast on him that has been slowing him. So this is the last round that he is slowed. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure if that was 10 rounds, but guys, do we feel like that's been about 10 rounds? I don't know.
I would say that's
no. I don't feel like going. I forgot
I think it's only been 3.
Oh, okay.
Zach, just remember, if I'm agreeing with you, to treat me fairly.
Oh, nobody likes it.
In return.
Nobody likes to kiss up Adam. You're definitely dying now, bro. Yeah. For me, it feels like it's been 20 rounds. How I thought it was. But yeah, so he still slowed, had 2 actions on that one, but he climbs another 15 feet, and he is dangling from the rope, getting close to the opening in the roof overhead. He about turns around to say, "It looks like your magic has faded." But then he sees this pillar of water rising up with you in the center of it, looking at him, swimming towards him. And he goes, "Oh, crap." And he looks ahead and he's going to try and keep climbing. And that'll take us to Jules, who is in this pillar of water. That lasts for, what was it, a minute? Everything's a minute.
Yes.
So what are you going to do with your turn, my man?
All right. I look to Diego and I say, "All right, my friend, let's go up."
Oh, finally.
I'd like to swim upwards.
Yes, and he's going to swim around you. And although you can swim through this as well, I'm going to let his magic amplify your swimming ability. I'll give you an extra 5 feet of swimming in this circumstance, because this is essentially what he does up waterfalls, and he was able to create an additional aura around you and give you a boost. So what are you doing? You're going to use all 3 actions to swim, or does it take less than that for you to reach the rope? What are we doing?
Well, it takes less. I've got a 30 swim speed.
With
so
the boost?
2 actions to swim up.
Okay.
No, 30 total.
Oh, wow. Dang,
so
you don't even need them, bro.
Is that per movement?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this. First off, thank you for your
He's going to
fair
ask
and
for
just
something stupid now.
boost.
He's buttering me up.
Can I use his boost? Can I use his boost to shoot me out of the water a little bit further?
Yeah. You can essentially like stand on the water, dude.
All right. Well then, yeah, I will use 2 actions. 2 of my actions to swim 30 or 60 feet. Plus his extra 5 per.
Right, you surge out of the water and then suddenly find yourself standing on top of the water pillar, like you're standing on water. Diego swims out and then lands on your shoulder and converts back into a lizard as you're standing on this water. Are you now trying to grab the rope?
Yes, I will.
All right, because you're just standing there now, because of his extra little boost, you're not really like reaching out for it or trying to grab a ledge. You can simply just reach out and grab it and start climbing if you want to.
Sorry, one quick second.
A second's already pretty quick.
He is what, 30 feet above me now? Because it was 15 feet the turn before, and then another 15 feet this turn.
Yes, sir. Uh-oh, what spell do we got now?
Actually, I'm not going to grab the rope yet. I'm going to take my trident out, and instead of throwing it, I'm going to use telekinetic projectile because I have an extra attack action. I still have 2 actions left.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast that and project my trident at Raul.
Okay.
Who is just in range. And that is a 30.
Dang. Okay, well, that hits.
That's high.
That's high. It's 18 plus 12 is 30, right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Wowzers.
That hits. That's not a crit, though, right?
No, not a crit.
Okay. I just wanted to check. So that's 3d6. Get wrecked. I should say that after I roll damage. 10 damage.
Nice. All right. You hurl your trident, guiding it with magic. As Raul has very little means of escape, he maybe tries to sway the rope out of the way just to get some momentum and swing, but he is unable to do it as the magic just suctions it towards him, and then the trident scrapes across his back as his blood just like rains down on you almost, and he says, you just won't give up, will you?
I'll look up to him and I'll say, "A lesson I learned from Don Renard."
Nice.
Love it. And is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
All right, and that'll take us to Dax.
Get him, Dax.
You just have the one rifleman up the stairs shooting at you.
Yep, so Dax will bring himself back up to his feet, sword still in hand, and close the rest of the distance to the rifleman, and I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him with my sword.
All right.
That's a good call, Zach.
I mean,
Oh,
when
no,
all
I
else
called you
fails,
Zach.
why
Dax.
make it more complicated? That is a 24.
That hits.
All right. That is 9 piercing damage.
All right, yeah, you run up and maybe dodging shots as you're going up the stairs, and then you slash across the rifleman who stumbles into the wall, bounces off, and looks very bloodied, but he's still managed to stay upright.
I'm going to hit him again. Hit
Do
him
it.
with the backswing. That's a 24 again.
That hits, bro, because it hit before. I can't change
Right.
it.
That's
That'd
good.
be
You never
cheating.
know what kind of weird stuff you're pulling behind the
It's
curtain.
homebrew,
there,
so
Zach. That is 10 piercing damage this time. GM Zach
Ooh.
Renesti.
So as he stumbles and hits the wall and then bounces forward, you meet his momentum with a stab through his stomach. The sword pierces out his back, and then you rip it out as he spins to the side and falls onto the floor, and you're breathing heavily. Maybe turn around and look over this room. And can you roll me a perception check?
Yeah.
Do it, Joel.
I must have a lot of blood in my eyes or something. I don't know.
Okay.
That is a, well, okay. Never mind. It's all right. It's a 19.
And you're scanning this room and see that there are no more apparent foes. You almost can't believe it. It's just a very intense, like 60 seconds for you as you battled through all this. You
100%.
see some loose rubble still dripping down into this cavern, but the majority of the chaos is over. And because you're elevated up on this catwalk from where you're at, you can see down into this abyss, and you see a rope hanging from it and follow it down and see a very bloodied Raul, who you have seen now in Drogadoon and in Maziville, climbing with the same pouch you saw Tuff hand to Jules, and is about to enter into this castle. And you can't see beneath him to see that Jules is behind him necessarily from this angle, but you know that Raul is entering into this castle. And with that, we will cut over to Tuff and Waltz. Guys.
Oh, boy.
Let's
man.
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
I am
Let's
excited though to see what's going on with you guys. Let's see.
Yeah, they're gonna die, I think. Well, Tuff is.
All right, let's
And-
get it going, Zach.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope not.
Yeah, I can't wait
let's
to figure
do
out what
this.
happens to these
GM
guys.
Zach
What's
Dude,
going on?
Adam's so two-faced. He was texting me before this. He's like, I can't wait for Tuff to die. And then here we
Zach,
are in the
no, don't tell him
recording. And
that.
he's like, I hope he lives. So two-faced, bro. Okay.
You really said that?
He
I told
did.
you that in confidence.
Yeah. So Tuff, you just hid inside that building, and that was basically your turn. You were spending time with Smith and regrouping, so you moved and then hid. So you guys are in this building as you hear this Myrkvane lurking overhead looking for you. But first, there is still that Kitsune that is on the rooftop with Waltz. So Waltz just stepped away from him and positioned himself by the anti-air gun. So the Kitsune, who is twirling its sword, feels like it can take you one-on-one, although it has seen you do some impressive feats of shooting electricity and all that and jumping off a hippogriff.
Thank
And he is going to elegantly step forward, very precisely, 1 foot in front of the other, almost like he's walking a tightrope. You can tell that he is very trained in the ways of fighting, and he is going to use his second action to swing his sword at you.
you.
Dude, I'm having fun today. He nat 20, bro.
No.
I don't care.
Wait,
the GM's
Oh,
not
you don't
supposed to have fun.
Won't be fun when you don't have a podcast.
Let's see what he's
anymore.
got.
Let's see what he's got indeed.
Let's see.
And he twirls this sword around and then maybe does like a pump fake strike as you raise your shield, but then drops to one knee and then spins and then does a horizontal slash across your thigh, and he's going to deal 11 damage. And he then stands upright and then is going to jump in the air and do like a Superman punch stab with his third action, following it up. Oh my gosh, dude. Can you roll me a percentage die, Taryn?
Yeah, let me Google D100.
Oh.
Roll a D100 die. Go. 38.
All right. He followed up his nat 20 with a nat 1. So he jumps through the
Nice.
air and does this Superman punch. And Waltz, you muster all this energy. The adrenaline rushes through you after taking that cut. And then you just raise your shield up and like meet his blade with the same amount of force. And his sword clanks off of it. and he violently spins to the side and is stumbling forward, like losing control of his momentum. And he will be off guard against you if you follow up with an attack. And that'll take us to the Myrkvane. So Tuff, you and Smith, maybe having a moment together, are snapped back to reality as you hear the heavy wings flapping directly over the building you're in. And then the whole room shakes as the Myrkvane lands on top of this room and is presumably searching for you as you hear its bassy growl rumble the foundation of the building you're in, and you can hear the subtle sounds of its charging energy above your heads. And maybe you hold your breath for a moment, wondering if it can hear you or know that you're in there. And that'll take us to Waltz. Waltz, what do you do?
All right, I'm going to use my first action to load the anti-air gun. Wait, first of all, do I see the Myrkvane still? Do I still have eyes on the Myrkvane?
I would say that you could tell that the Myrkvane has like flown away from you a bit, but if you want to like know exactly where it is, you might have to roll a perception check because it has like left and it is doing other things and you've been preoccupied with the fight.
Okay, I will do this thing. I will do a perception check first to find out where the Myrkvane is and any other information depending on how well I roll on the perception check.
Perception check.
So just keep an open mind, Zach, is all I ask.
All right.
Nat 10, 18.
His confidence really sells it, though.
Maybe as the Kitsune is stumbling off to the side, you feel like you have a little window to look over your shoulder and scan around. And you look off, and there's still a lot of mist out there because you guys are still around cloud level. And the Myrkvane isn't in your immediate vicinity, and you do kind of see it vaguely off in the distance atop a rooftop. And it looks maybe like it's searching for something, and you don't have eyes on Smith or Tuff, and you don't really know where they went. And Waltz, when you look at this anti-air gun, you certainly get the feeling that it would take a lot to load, aim, and fire this weapon. Like 2 men were manning it before. So you could be able to tell it would be 3 actions to load, aim, and fire it.
Damn it, why didn't you tell me that before I used my perception check?
I think that's pretty obvious. Why?
Gosh, dang it.
Because I hate you.
Yes, thank you, Joel. Joel got
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's right. Okay.
It's how many actions?
3, and I only have 2 left. Not cool, Zach. That really f***s up what I wanted to do. Damn it.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's all it took.
Yeah. Terran's, he usually just kind of latches onto the last thing that was said. Kind of goes with the flow.
An agile weapon can be taken out with a free action, or how did that work again?
Did you
What does
read
agile
that?
mean?
Did you like read that somewhere, or did you just kind of say it?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, 'cause
Agile weapon
no.
just means your multi-attack penalty is 4 instead of 5.
And then 8 instead of 10. But yeah. He said that like he was reading it to me from like Archives of Nethys or
did.
something.
Isn't this guy still by you? Couldn't you like try to get rid of him before you start shooting it or anything?
I think what you should do is try and give Tuff the grappling hook.
Yeah, load it with the grappling hook and shoot it at Tuff.
to get this to you.
My goal was to be able to get that like Forgost off of you while he's charging that breath weapon.
Well, it's not Forgost, so that wouldn't have worked.
Oh yeah.
Forgost is dead, remember?
You're trying to get
Myrkvane.
him off of me while he's charging his breath weapon by like shooting him with
Or
this
just
thingy?
getting his attention, yeah.
Because I'm trying to do the same for you.
Yeah. Maybe you guys can each get the attention and each die.
Yeah. We're just constantly just trying to attract the attention for the other.
Zach, with my perception check, what do I see that might be considered an improvised weapon?
Yeah, I mean, you might see some like tools and cranks that they use to aim the anti-air gun, like maybe something that would fix into the side of it as you run this little hand crank, and just little things that they were using maybe to do maintenance on it, some tools, things like that.
I want to grab whatever the sturdiest object of those looks like and swing at the Kitsune.
All right, so that's an action to pick it up and then one to attack.
Yes.
So roll it up.
That's awesome. But make sure it's the sturdiest one because that one will do more damage.
All right, Zach, I would like to use my improvised pummel feet with whatever improvised weapon. Remember, it needs to be the sturdiest one around me that I pick up.
I bet there's got to be something pretty sturdy.
All right, well,
brick.
I mean, the wrench is certainly sturdy. It's a very hardened metal
Perfect.
weapon. It's not like you're smashing a glass or anything like that. I don't really know how this feat works, but or if a wrench would satisfy that. But I want you to be able to use your cool feat, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very nice. Okay. 22.
Nice,
Taryn.
And he's also
Nice.
off guard as he's stumbling away. So maybe as he's stumbling, he finally sticks a foot out and stops himself and turns around just in time to see this big, heavy wrench just being swung, and then it's going to crack him across the face as his head spins around and he stumbles yet again. Roll me damage.
Like an owl.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like an owl, yeah.
9 damage. My extra damage dice was just a 1 anyways.
Dang. Yeah, you just really nail his skull as you hear just a loud thump, and he is looking extremely disoriented and shakes his head, looks at you, so uncivilized, as he was elegantly fighting you with a sword and you just bash him with a wrench.
Hey, as long as it works. And that'll end my turn.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. And that will take us to Tuff.
Whew. All right. So I think the last thing that happened was Smith's cool snort and pad with his head on my chest or whatever, right? And then we kind of like hid sort of as the Myrkvane towered over the building on top of us.
Yep. And now it is on your building looking for you.
Okay. So I kind of want to whisper but talk to Smith now that we are both bolstered with newfound confidence after our blowing each other up. I'm just going to say, all right, big guy, this may be our last stand then. I don't know how much time we've got here. And we're also leaving that oaf with the hair alone to fend for himself up there. So we're going to have to act fast. We need a plan, but first, here, take this. And I'd like to give Smith an elixir of life that I would have had prepared with my daily alchemical preparations.
Ooh, okay. Which one? Like a lesser?
It's lesser, so that's 3d6 plus 6 and
Dang.
plus 1 bonus. Yeah.
3d6 plus 6?
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll let you roll that.
Sure.
Dang, how long you been able to do this for, bro?
I'm not going to say because then the discard will roast me. Plus 6, 20, 21 hit points.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
All right, you pull out this vial and you start to hold it up to Smith, who maybe stops for a second and looks at it, tilting his head, almost like a puppy dog, and then looks at you confused and gestures with his beak, almost telling you to take it. Like, no, I'm good. Don't worry about me. And as he says that, he just looks like miserable. Like he's beaten up.
Nah, it's enough of that. Look, one of us has to be able to stay up, and you look a lot worse off than I do. Now hurry up, drink up.
He kind of furrows his brow like, no, I don't, kind of thing, but then reluctantly lets you give him this elixir, and you see many of his cuts start to heal a little bit, and he looks a little less beaten up and worn down, a little bit of rejuvenation, some pep in his step as he bows his head towards you. And that was a very good use of your action there.
All right, and then with the last 2 actions here, I'd like to ready an action to create a diversion, essentially. So Tuff, using his genius brain that he has and I don't have, he's going to come up with a plan where he's just going to kind of take a look around the room, assess the situation, and then come up with this idea to create a bomb that will set off at a period of time later based on like calculations and stuff that he's going to do.
Holy moly.
So what I would like to do...
That sounds like math.
If I can grab some like just rope or something that I hope is probably in the room, Zach.
Sure, yeah, you just see a lot of like scattered crates tipped over, shelves, things like that. It looks like a battle maybe happened in here. You could certainly find some loose rope. Not like a 50-foot rope necessarily, but yeah, you could find a rope.
Sure. But no like rocket launcher or anything.
Well, yeah, you guys have always, each of you have had a rocket launcher. You didn't read
Oh,
the...
okay. I
It
want to
comes
use my
with your hero
rocket
point.
launcher now instead, actually.
None of you guys have read the lore primer?
Lore primer.
You've all had your own rocket launcher. It's heat seeking. Oh my gosh, you guys are...
Well, now I just feel silly.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind for later, and maybe I like this plan instead. So Tuff's going to take that, what's it called? That rifle?
Shard rifle?
Yeah, the shard rifle off of his back. And he's going to hold it out in front of him, looking kind of solemn. I'm sorry, I only got to use you once, but I promise I'm putting you to good use now. And I'd like to break the sun shard out of that rifle and then tie it to an end of a rope. And if I can sort of like sling that near, I don't know, a wall or something that it would end up blowing up. And then, like I said, my calculations would time the length of this rope with how fast a fire would go towards it to have it set off at a later time.
Perfect, dude. I love it. Yeah. You
Sick.
bust the sun shard out of the shard rifle. So, Tuff, do you want to keep the shard rifle just without the sun shard? Because you could always get a new sun shard. Or are you just trying to destroy it?
I like that idea better, but I'll hold on to you for safekeeping, and then I'll sling it back over my back.
Right. So now you're just holding the loose sun shard. You eject it from the rifle and look around and find some loose rope. Maybe pull some of the strands off the rope to make like a finer, thinner fuse rather than just igniting this fat rope, and you tie it around the sun shard and place it up against the wall. Bend down, maybe use your ignition spell and light the end of this rope, and then climb onto the back of Smith and prepare for your next turn. And that'll take us back to the kitsune that Walt's just smashed with a wrench. Yeah, he's got like the Looney Tune birds going around his head. He's like, oh.
For Smith, does he act on my turn then, or does he have his own action?
So you still have Smith's actions because he goes right after you, and I've sort of just been letting him do like whatever you want him to do in tandem with your turn. So do you want him to start to fly out now and join the fight again, or are you still trying to hide in this building?
Yeah, I'll just lean towards his head, pat his side, and say, "Let's do this."
All right, Smith gets a running start in the building, running past the fuse you have lit, and then dives out the window and opens his wings up and then starts to soar. The Myrkvane whips its head around and looks at Smith as he starts to soar back in front of the moonlight, rejoining the fight.
Boy.
And it lets out a growl, and that'll take us back to the kitsune that Walt's just smashed as he wobbles side to side and says, "I will end you, you barbarian!" And he runs up, and then he's going to try and slash you once again with his sword.
Good luck.
Oh, dang, all right.
What do you get?
Does a 24 hit you?
Yeah, it does.
Ooh.
Dang, all right, you guys are having a little bit of a duel here.
You shouldn't have wished him luck, Taryn.
Wait, didn't you say he was flat-footed or something?
Yeah, but that reduces his AC.
Dang it.
Dang it.
All right, and he doesn't roll too well, and his sword comes down, and you maybe partially get your shield up as the sword clanks off your shield and then scrapes off your shoulder, and he deals 4 damage.
Oh, it's just getting old.
And then he says, "You are not the only one with magic." And then he is going to ignite his tail with fire, sort of like you saw Yara do, and you've seen Renard do some magic as well. So you know that some of these kitsune have some inherent magic to them. And he hurls some fire at you from his tail that sort of flies at an angle, almost like a bullet in Wanted, kind of circles back and then strikes you in the back in a burst of flame that deals 3 damage. And he smirks to himself and says, "Not so smart now, are you? You and your stupid wrenches, you idiot."
Yeah, we'll see about that.
And that'll take us back to the Myrkvane.
No.
The murky boy.
That jumps off the roof of this building. Maybe some of the roof even caves in a little bit just from the sheer force of it pushing off. And then it glides after Smith and Tuff. And it is going to use its claws from its feet as it flies overhead of Smith and try and slash Tuff in the back.
Look out, buddy.
Ooh, boy, that is definitely a hit, my man.
No.
But remember, I used to lay on hands on you earlier.
Yeah, better be enough.
And these claws just slash across your back and tear up some of the metal plates on your body, maybe some screws flying, some sparks dancing in the air as he deals 14 damage.
Oh.
And then whips back around, circling back towards you. And as it flies underneath Smith, it's going to fling its tail upwards and try and attack Smith from below. And he also definitely hits Smith.
No.
Gah.
And his tail connects with Smith as you see it scrape along his stomach, and he wanes in his flight again, and then he is going to take a good amount of damage. as well, but he would have probably died had you not healed him, so good job there.
Man,
Good job,
Tuff.
Ryan.
thanks.
And you see it starting to glow again with blue energy as it has been charging since its last breath weapon. And that's going to take us to Waltz. Waltz, what do you do, bro?
Waltz is gonna notice the Myrkvane and everything and just say, "Hope you're doing all right, Tuff, just a little longer." And I'm gonna use my improvised pummel again for my first action to attack that Katsune.
All right, do it.
I will. Nat 20, 35, baby.
Oh,
Nice.
damage.
Heck yeah.
You're gonna split his head
There's a
open.
rule for this.
go.
There's a rule for this for improvised pummeler. Okay. All right. If the attack is a critical hit, the improvised weapon breaks after the normal effects of a critical hit occur. If the item has a hardness greater than your level, or if it is an artifact, cursed item, or another difficult to break, it doesn't break, but the attack is a normal hit instead of a critical hit.
So it sounded like you could either break it and crit or not break it and not crit. Is that what that was?
Yeah. If the attack is a critical hit, the improvised weapon breaks after the normal effects of a critical hit occur.
Yeah, and you want the critical hit either way, right?
I do. Well, yeah, I do.
So it sounds like you're just going to break this thing.
Okay, cool. Damn it, 2 1s, 2 4s, 2 1s.
Oh.
All right, so 10 plus 4 twice 18.
It's still a
All
lot.
right.
Yeah, I'll
I
take
don't
it.
really know how a wrench breaks, but this poor guy, you just raise it above your head with so much force, your bicep just flexing, and this shadow is cast over this kitsune with the moonlight behind you. Just Waltz with a wrench as you just bring it down with a powerful force, and you hear it crack into his skull, and he is just knocked out like clean, just absolutely just hits the ground like a sack of potatoes. No chance. And then Waltz, after you follow through and you raise the wrench back up,
Got
you
him.
see that it is just like completely bent like a C shape as you just bent it around his head. And
Dang.
you've just
Ow.
basically rendered this wrench useless, and then just toss it to the side after you have dealt with this kitsune. You have 2 actions remaining, so you can load and aim. You just can't fire yet because it would take 3 to do all that, so you can prepare it for your next turn if that is something you would like to do.
Yeah, Waltz will say, "See, I told you it works." And then load the anti-air weapon and aim it and start trying to track that Myrkvane.
So Waltz, as you bend down by the crates of the sun shard rounds that can be loaded into this, you see that they all more or less look the same, but one of them is glowing brighter than the rest, like it has a greater charge in it. Do you want to load one of the regular ones or this supercharged sun
I'll do the
shard?
regular one first.
All right. You maybe take note that it is in there, pick it up out of the crate. You maybe take the crank, pull it back, and it's like you're loading a rifle essentially, and then you just slide this round in there like a bolt action rifle, and then slide the handle forward, and you have chambered this sun shard round, and then you maybe realize that you broke the wrench off that lets you like aim this thing when you're using the improvised weapon, and you just have to use your own biceps as you just like lift this tube and like aim it towards the Myrkvane like you're gonna hip fire an anti-air gun.
All right, nice and easy.
And you are trying to do your best to track the Myrkvane as you see it chaotically battling Tuff and Smith. And that'll
Beauty.
take us to Tuff. Tuff, what
Let's
do
go
you
Tuffy
do?
boy.
And what do you want
All right.
Smith to do?
Tuff just having gotten clawed at, and Smith just having gotten whacked by a tail. Tuff's just gonna yell out to Smith, "Full speed ahead, it's now or never." And then for Tuff's first action, what I want to do is load up a blind pepper bomb into my many-shafted
Owning
cool gun.
All right.
And Tuff will have been kind of mentally counting the seconds in his head, hoping that they match up with the calculations that he would have done for this bomb that he set up to act as a diversion against this Myrkvane. And he'll just wait a brief moment, and as his number counts down to 0, just hope that that bomb goes off right when he reaches 0.
Okay, and right on cue, you hear the sun shard erupt in the building behind you. A flash of blue light bursts out the windows as some of the wall crumbles away. and the Myrkvane looks back over its shoulder as it sort of turns in the air a little bit to see if there is a threat behind it. And that is you creating a diversion. So you need to attempt a deception check right now.
Okay, I'll
Come
do
on,
it.
Ryan. Do it, Ryan.
16 plus 9 is 25,
That's not bad, right?
right?
Right, Zach? That's not bad. It's just a stupid back creature.
Let's see how stupid it is. Okay, and you do notice that this Myrkvane is looking back at this explosion, wondering if it was another anti-air gun or something being fired at it, and there is a brief opening as it is checking directly behind it.
Yes, you big stupid animal. Now eat this. And then I'm going to blast off my blind pepper bomb at it.
Nice.
All right, so it is off guard because of that. So it has to roll a reflex DC against that.
So yeah, his reflex save that he's got to beat is 18. I hope he sucks again.
Right. So I know off guard doesn't actually apply to reflex saves necessarily, but I feel like in this circumstance, it's kind of cool to have it.
Wow,
Work
you
that
are
way?
a gracious GM.
And it is a very big monster, and I kind of want to free bone. So let's see what happens.
And I don't
but
want to die, so...
You don't. You said it needed to beat an 18.
Yeah.
How good do you think this thing is at reflex? Just curious.
Not
Freaking
good. Plus
good.
2.
You think it's just like really bad at reflex? Like it can't really.
He's too big to be good at reflex. If video games taught me anything, it's big
he's
creatures
too
are
good.
slow.
I will say this:
Then all my stuff is useless.
there are very few numbers on this d20 that I'm about to roll that I could roll in which this would succeed for you. So
I would believe you if you
I
told
just
me
want
that.
you
Wow,
to
that was
not
the
really-
most confusing way you could have said that sentence.
Yeah. Tuff, as it is distracted and looking back at this explosion, thus reducing its reflex save ever so slightly, because I was generous, decided to pass that on. You reach back over your shoulder, maybe one arm firing this many-shafted gun with the loaded blind pepper bomb, and you fire it through the air. A trail of smoke arcs towards this Myrkvane just as it turns its head around, and then it explodes right in front of its eyes.
baby.
And you see it connect with its eyes and just coat its face as it shakes its head vigorously back and forth, flying through this peppery haze, and you successfully
Yes, thank you.
shot your
Lord.
blind pepper
Very
bomb,
nice.
and it says on a failed save, the creature is blinded for one round
To
and then
pepper.
dazzled
Yes.
Now
for
they
one
can't see
round.
Pepper.
Yes.
You got him.
That's huge.
Okay.
That's freaking huge.
Oh, I was so nervous about that. I
Yeah,
did not think
that
that was...
did not have a good chance of succeeding, but you freaking. I don't.
I'm
If I
proud of you,
didn't
Ryan.
give you the -2, I don't, that was not gonna work. But
Really?
it did.
Wow.
Yep. Okay.
Thank the Lord. All right, yeah, I've got a third action.
Okay.
First, I want to yell at it. Suck on that!
It does not respond. It's just growling and very upset. It's almost like wiping its wings across its face the best it can as it flutters in its flight, and then realizes it just can't do anything about it, and it's doing its best to keep its bearings.
I'll excitedly then turn my head to Waltz and yell at him, "Now, Waltz, now!" And then for my last action, Tuff will look at his handy pistol, notice it's not loaded, and say, "Well, you never failed me before," and then load that baby up.
Love it.
Nice.
And that'll take us back to the Myrkvane. So you just have Smith flying around trying to kite the Myrkvane. Smith maybe lets out a triumphant shriek, noticing that the plan is working so far. And it brings us back to the Myrkvane that is blinded, which means all of you are concealed to it, and it has to succeed
Nice.
on a flat check to see if it can even hit you with what it's doing. And it starts to charge up its breath weapon in fury, remembering where you guys last were, listening to the sounds in the air, maybe Smith's wings fluttering as it charges and charges and charges, and then this beam just fires through the mist. Tuff, you brace. Smith banks to the side, and you brace for a hit that never comes as this beam just shoots across the city and hits a tower off in the distance and explodes, and you see this tower crumbling as it was just shooting into nothing unable
turn literally
to see
saved
where you
my
guys
life.
are.
What an idiot.
Flutters its
You know?
wings and is trying to fly towards you, doing its best to keep in the general vicinity. But that is all of its actions, and probably the best thing you guys could have done on that turn. So good job
Well
with that
done.
plan. I'm glad that worked out for you, Tuff, but you're still gonna die. I'm sorry.
Phew.
You're just delaying inevitable, and that'll take us to Waltz. Waltz, what do you do?
I am going to try and shoot that Myrkvane with this weapon.
Do
That's a
it,
good idea,
Walt. The
Taryn. Do
thing's
it,
as
do it, do
blind
it.
as a bat.
Okay.
Nice.
We're not out of this yet.
So this actually just requires it to do a reflex save.
Which it
Oh.
sucks at, we know now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So you're going
Couldn't
to
even
fire
dodge
this,
pepper.
Waltz?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the Myrkvane, though.
All right. Waltz,
Yes.
can you roll me
Yes.
5d10?
Wow. 24.
Oh, sick, bro. And as you're just muscling this tube and
Come on.
fire
Come
the shard round through the air, it makes this popping sound and then soars with this trail of blue sparks through the air. And you see it heading towards the Myrkvane that is just spinning out of control after just firing its breath weapon. Doesn't even know where it's going. And then this round just explodes right in front of the Myrkvane and sends out this big 20-foot burst through the air like a firework as a bunch of shrapnel soars, and you see all this sun shard flying through the air that impact into the Myrkvane and then explode on impact, dealing
Yes.
a ton of damage. You said 25
Yes.
to the Myrkvane. That flutters in its flight and lets out
24,
a
sorry.
loud roar, and that'll bring us still to you with 2 actions remaining. What are you going to do now?
Still
All
up,
right.
though.
I think I'm going to load the supercharged looking one next.
Ooh, good idea.
Here we go.
Do it.
Heck
Do it.
yeah.
Load it and aim.
Yeah, I'll load it and aim. That way I'm kind of ready to fire for next round.
Don't forget I gave you that grappling hook, too.
Maybe load the grappling hook into it.
Into
Attach the
the
grappling hook.
to
Yeah,
the
shoot the
sun
grappling
shard.
hook at it.
It's a good
Into-
idea.
Okay, I'll take the sun shard out. I'll put the grappling hook in.
All right.
Tuff
You
gave
load
me
this,
this
like,
for a
super-
reason.
Super intimidating looking round.
And it only
you're
goes like-
no. I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna stuff this random thing.
It's like when he's choosing between the 2 buttons, and he's like,
this one.
Yeah, Waltz, you maybe really liked how that felt. You feel like that was almost like you zeroing in on how to like use this
Yeah.
weapon, and you feel ready to use this very charged round, and you definitely don't want to waste it. So you pick that up, you notice it feels heavier, you feel all that radiant energy surging off of it. It maybe even glows more when you pick it up, as we established in episode 8. When you touched that one sun
Yeah,
shard, it
yeah.
started to glow, and you feel like your energy is even coursing through it as you slide it into the chamber, load it,
All
and
right,
then
come on.
start to aim it once again as you're tracking this Myrkvane through the air.
Come on, Tuff.
And that is where we'll end our session, because we've been playing for 2 hours,
I wanna know
guys.
what
That's
happens
a long
next.
Yeah,
I don't
we've been
even
playing
know.
for a
Zach,
while.
I want to know.
Care? Yeah, well, you know what, Ryan? You know what I say to that? Does anyone want to guess what I would say
Yeah.
to that? Does anyone?
You
I'm
don't
gonna
have to-
guess you're gonna.
If you guys
say-
guess what I was going to say correctly, I'll give you a hero point if you guess what I was going to say correctly.
Shut up.
Don't-
You're gonna say
don't
shut
do
up.
it,
guys.
guys.
You're gonna say
No.
shut up,
Shut
Zach.
up,
Zach, you're gonna
shut
tell
up.
us to shut up.
Oh,
have to
so you
hold
guys do know.
steadfast.
You guys do know to shut up at the end of the episode. I tricked
Guys,
you,
we
idiots.
got a hero
I
point.
baited you with a hero point, and now I know
I'm
that you
still
guys
giving
know to
myself a
shut
hero
up at
point.
the end of the episode. So in fact, now that I know you guys have been defying me, you all lose a hero point. How about that? That's what you
Oh,
guys
no.
get. So why
I
don't you
didn't-
guys
No,
maybe
you gave us.
obey next
can't.
time?
Dang it.
I didn't-
Plus
I
one,
didn't give
minus
it-
one, eh?
All right,
I didn't
cool.
participate.
Wow,
You know
guys,
what?
I don't feel very good about this.
Listen, guys, the reason I tell you guys to shut up at the end of the episode is because we're going to talk about it in the downtime. And the downtime is for patrons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that's where we react in the most
What are
recent episode.
patrons?
They're the reason we can do the show, actually. They're really great people, and I cannot believe there's people that actually like support us. We love you guys and gals, and thank you so much. Seriously, you know, it's just Sorry. Sometimes I forget to do that because I'm just so angry telling you guys to shut up. But yeah, thank you, patrons.
Are
guys
you
awesome.
crying?
I mean, no, just a little bit. Yeah, we do other stuff on Patreon too, by the way. I know we only talk about the downtime, but yeah, we do session sketches. Adam draws things, and you guys can vote on it. And then we also do these things called Metacast, where we just kind of do whatever. Sometimes we just talk about stuff, like various topics related to tabletop RPGs. Sometimes we answer questions. Sometimes we do really stupid games. Like one time Ryan wrote a script that we all had to like read off of, and he made us say a bunch of stupid stuff in this like fake Pathfinder session. And we've also done Popcorn GM, where we just randomly rotate GMs and let them take control of the story. And let me tell you, those are some of the most unhinged things we've ever done. They're very stupid. If you want to see a completely different side to the way we play, Patreon is where you could see that. All right, guys, it's time for me to read some comments that I've seen online about the show. I'm gonna read a few just Spotify comments in rapid succession because we've been getting a lot of them lately, and there's a few people that have been commenting consistently, and I just want to make sure I read their comments because I don't want them to be forgotten. Let's see. First of all, this person knows how to get me to read their comments. Javathan. He said on the latest episode, season 2, episode 22, Into the Fray, he said so many enticing lore drops. And the reason he knows that that'll get his comment read is because he just complimented my lore. He said it was enticing. So obviously I'm going to read that one. It was. So yeah, there's a little bit of a cheat for you. Just compliment me because I'm the one who reads the comments at the end, and I'll read it. Anyways, let's see. Every time. Caleb, who's commented a few times, they said, had to listen to this late thanks to the holidays, but it was definitely worth the wait. I think Jules getting called a fool every 2 seconds by a fish is my favorite running joke at this point. I also enjoy that.
I enjoy it too.
And we got a comment from someone named Nicholas, and they said, I finally made it to the new episode after weeks of binging, and I am surprised how upset I was that it was over now. I have to wait. Boy, will I miss you guys. Man, I wish we had like billions of episodes. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. Love to hear that. There's one more I want to find specifically today. Go ahead. Did we read this one? I'm going to read this one again just because I think it's funny. I don't know if I've read this, but this is from someone named Micah. They said, I love Tuff so much. He is just too funny. But I like it when Zach doesn't let Ryan play even more. That is just even more funny.
Of course.
Love it. Where's the one I'm looking for? Okay, here we go. This is on season 2, episode 12. And you know how Tuff always calls Kitsune dogs? This person named Nathan commented,
I do know that.
Foxes aren't dogs with an exclamation point, and then said, also, this episode is really good. The bit at the end went crazy hard. And I was like, when I read this, I was like, does this there's a small chance this person thinks that we think foxes are dogs. So I just want you to know it's just Ryan that thinks foxes are dogs. The rest of us know that foxes are a different animal. But Ryan thinks foxes are dogs. So
we all texted each other afterwards, and we're like, we
Ryan
don't know if foxes aren't dogs, right?
A fox is a handsome man.
Yeah. Oh, that's
what would a fox fall
under
then?
A handsome older man.
What criteria?
Vulpine, right? Isn't that what it is?
Is that a dog?
So.
Is a dog a vulpine?
I don't know. I think it's the canine the canine is a different thing than
I think it's pronounced Vulpini.
The first thing that comes up says, yes, a fox is a dog.
Oh
no.
Dang it, then I accidentally basically made it seem like Ryan's the only one who's smart.
But that's also Google's AI thing, and I don't know if I trust that.
Yeah, Joel, can you cut that so we look smart and Ryan looks dumb? Is there a way you can do that?
Could you somehow reverse that so that Ryan's the one
give
explaining?
Me a win.
So you're saying do the thing I always do.
Oh, right. That's Ryan's actually way cooler than you think. Cool.
Right. Yeah. Ryan's actually super cool in person. I just make him sound dumb
cool
because
guy.
Otherwise I'd be the dumbest.
Cut this though, Joel. But yeah, Ryan is a cool guy. I would never say it to Ryan's face, but I think he's actually a really cool guy and he's really funny. But
if you do cut it, save it so that I can have it somewhere to reference.
Yeah, foxes are definitely dogs. What? What is that?
You know what? We should get out of here before we say anything else too stupid. We will see you next time, mortals.
I got like 3 4s and 2 3s in there.
So Raul just isn't even looking at you anymore. He feels like he left you in the dust.
I say, wait. And I say, not so fast, jerk face.
I like how you interrupted
shoot
me
'em.
for something you probably don't even want in the episode.
Yeah,
that,
okay,
cut that,
now
cut
you go. Now you go.
Raul is just
Not
looking.
so fast, you toe-eyed cabbage.
You bugger.
Pew 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 pew.
Are we good?
Call him a slur, Adam. That'll make the episode.
Here, I'll mute my mic now.
Yeah, you can just keep talking with the muted mic. All right. You're always unmuting it. All right. What's he got? Okay, we're good. Raul is looking.